Well, hello there. This is Skip McCoy. Welcome to RiverSoft University. Today we're talking about AutoPay travel time. That's the feature on the top right of the blueprint. This feature automatically calculates travel time of a route. And a route is the path an employee travels between their visits and travel locations. Now it's fairly configurable, and you turn this feature on one at a time, one employee at a time. The very top is the max allowed wait time. If the time between visits is more than the calculated travel time plus this number of minutes, then we consider the person to be off duty because they've taken too much time between visits. Pay travel time wage. This is the base wage we're going to pay for travel time. It's normally the minimum wage for your state, but you can override it right here. You can also override it at the employee level if you give the employee level a special skill. That special skill is in the I button. It's down here. It is called the travel wage. So if you'll associate the travel wage skill to the employee and give them a pay rate for that travel wage, we will pay them this rate for travel instead of the minimum wage per state in your state or whatever you've entered here. Maximum time between stops is the maximum time between visits to be part of a route. So if two visits, the time between two visits is more than this number of minutes, and this is about 4 hours, and you can configure this, but if the maximum time between two visits goes over this, we consider the route stopped. We consider that the employee is done for the day. Okay, when a route stops, that's also meaningful for a feature that allows us to pay employees from their home to the first stop and from their last stop to their home. Those features are also covered in the I button. They're called Pay Travel Home and Pay Travel Home Route. So if you've got employees that you're going to pay from their home to their first stop and from their last stop to their home, go in the I button and check out those two features. Okay, Pay Week. Pay Week must be selected in order to click the Update Pay option. If you unclick this, we're not going to update the pay. So that means we're not going to do the calculations to create the pay items and create the automatic pay items. By default, Pay Week, this is the last week of payroll. So it goes to last week's ending day and 6 days before that. Now, if you just want to do what ifs, or like I'm going to show you, I'm just going to calculate the mileage for one day, you could just choose, say, a particular day. Oops, that's July. I want to go to June. There you go. And then you can run a report like that. But again, it's not going to update the pay. It's not going to create your pay items for you. And that's really the whole purpose of the feature, is to automatically calculate your travel pay. But you can just generate the report for a date range here. And possibly you just want to verify the addresses. Instead of calculating the actual travel pay calculations, you just want the report to list all the addresses it's having a problem with. Because some of the major work involved with beginning to use this feature is making sure every client and every employee has verified addresses, meaning we know when the latitude and longitude is. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and run the report just for that. Oops, need an employee. Office 4, there's Sandra Boucher, she comes up. Okay, so there's a report where travel pay was not updated. I was just playing, basically. Let me show you what happens when you actually use the report to generate your pay items. I'm going to click on the Pay Week. That allows me to click on the Update Pay calculation. Oh, by the way, if I used this feature and created pay items and I exported those pay items to payroll, I would not be able to calculate travel pay for that week again. It's a kind of a one-time thing because we need to get accurate route information. So this is the thing you do right before you close the week, after you've verified all your visits and got your travel locations in. Okay, like I said, you turn this feature on one employee at a time by adding the calculate travel pay attribute to that employee. The way you do that is you go to the employee's screen, which is right here. Go to Edit Attributes, and they must have the Calculate Travel Pay attribute. Once they have that attribute, they will show up in this window if you've chosen the right office, and they have visits through which we can calculate travel pay. Now down here is a warning to show a red warning message on the report. If we find mileage over 35 miles per visit, you can change this. But if you find a distance of hundreds of miles between two visits, it just might mean that one of your addresses is wrong and you'd like to know that. By default, it's set to 35 miles. Okay, I'm actually going to update the pay this time, so this is going to create a pay item that shows the travel pay we're going to pay Sandra for the visits she's done for that day. Here's her schedule right here. She's got 4 visits. I'm going to click the button again. And now this is actually creating a pay item for Sandra on Friday, and it shows you the route that it calculated that pay for. So she visited this very first client, and when she left this client at 1105 Ashley Avenue and visited Anselmi, went to her second visit, this is the route she took. This is the time it took for her. The web service returned us that it took 2 minutes to drive there. When she left Anselmi's visit to go to Bowermasters, this is the route she took. The web service returned back that it took 5 minutes, and so on. There's 3 columns here. This first one is travel time, and that's how long the web service told us it took this person to travel from one place to another. There's a time between visits, and that's the time between the end time of the from visit to the to time of the to visit. And then there's the calculated travel time, and that's how much they're actually going to get paid for travel time. It's all summed up here. The pay time is added up and snapped to the nearest 15 minutes, multiplied by that wage, and that's their pay. So we get out of here and go back to Sandra's schedule. We'll see a pay item on Friday, and if we open it up, we're going to see the route that was calculated and the wage that was calculated. So this is our audit trail. This will stay here forever, so we can always go back and find out why she was paid for her travel time that way. There'll be a pay item on Friday for every single employee. Okay, going back to the blueprint. The AutoPay travel time and AutoPay mileage features were designed to be used by themselves or together prior to the close week feature, so that you can reduce the time you spend manually calculating mileage reimbursement and paying your employees for the time they spend traveling for your agency. We hope it saves you a lot of time. Remember to start using them slowly, turn them on one employee at a time, but we believe they will save you a lot of time prior to closing the week. Okay, that is it for this segment. This has been RiverSoft University, and this is Skip McCoy signing off for RiverSoft.